Let's learn about points, line segments, and lines. Let's start with the definition. A point is a location in space. So this here is a point. And what we say, I'll put it in quotes, you say point C. You'll notice that C is in capital letters. What you write is all you write is just C. So for this point right here, you would say point D, and all what you would write is just the letter D. On the screen right now, I have 2 points, F and A. You can draw a line through any 2 points. So I have drawn a line through those 2 points, F and A. Point F and point A are on that line. So that's what I said before, that you can draw a line through any 2 points. What you say is you call this, and you say this is line FA. You can also say that this is line AF. You would be describing that same line. What you write is as follows. I'll put it in blue right here. I ran out of room. You write this here, and so that is line FA. You write the 2 points that helped you form that line, and then you make a line right over it, or line AF. Alright, I have 2 things here. In geometry, you might see this over here. This here is a point. This is point E. All you write is you just write E. Here, you would write this here, line DM, or line MD. And what you would say, just what I just said, line DM, line MD. There's 2 ways to describe that line. You'd be describing that same line. Alright, I have a definition for you. A line segment is part of a line. It has 2 endpoints. So I've got 2 points here, and we call them endpoints because they are the endpoints of this line segment. They are the ends of this line segment. So I will connect those 2 endpoints to form this line segment. This here is that line segment. And so what we call this is we call this line segment LT. And so what we do is we write this here, and we write it like that there. You will notice that we do not do this, and some students will try to do this because they're all, well, isn't that what a line segment looks like? No. And then so what we say, this is what we write. What we say again is line segment LT, or line segment TL. Alright, let's name each of these things here. What do you see? Right here, you see that we have a what? Right, we have a point. So what will we write for this point? you would write D, and you would say, what? Point D. How many other points do you see that are labeled here? There are 4 other points. Point M, point R, point L, and point Q. Technically, there's an infinite amount of points. They just don't happen to be labeled. They don't happen to be labeled. So if I was to label some other points that were on this line, I can continue to label those points that are on the line. Those are all points that are on that line that make up that line. The difference between a line and a line segment, again, is a line continues on and on and on in either direction, whereas a line segment stops at those points called endpoints. What do you write again for that line segment? You write MR. And remember to go ahead and put that line segment over it. Or you could have, maybe you said RM, which is fine as well. And what you say again is line segment MR or line segment RM. Finally, we have this one right here, whereas this is a line. And for that line, what you write is you write line LQ, this is what you say, I'm sorry, line LQ or line QL. And what you write is as follows. All right, these are the geometry terms that you see. These are the geometry terms that you see. How do you say it? How do you say it? The first one, what you say is what? You say line GM. How else could I explain line GM? Right, I could explain it by saying line MG. We would be describing that same line. The next one, you write D. What would you say then? Right, point D. And finally, how do you read this next one? What would you say? Right, line segment FR. And remember, line segment FR would be the same as line segment RF. That would be the same one there. Just as this one here, what I was saying before, that would be the same there as well. For your turn, go ahead and draw a picture that shows each of these here. And then so you should draw a line GM, point D, and a line segment FR. And then go ahead and copy the rest of this table down as well, as to what it is that you would write and what is it that you would say. Do that, please. Hit pause. This could be a picture describing what it is that we had on that previous screen. So we had line GM. I had asked you to write down all of these as well. We had line segment FR. And we had point D. So that's all you need to know about points, line segments, and lines.